Greetings, brave warrior from another world, and welcome to the terrain of magical expertise. In this world, all inhabitants visiting from your universe must take the form of your innermost powerful warrior. The choice of how you shall represent your fighting spirit is entirely up to your individual strengths, your weaknesses, your code of honor, and your dreams. Good luck, and enjoy your adventure to the fullest in the terrain of magical expertise.
Honey Nintendo, I'm holding up for Nintendo to save E3. They got all the games that I'm interested in, and the rest I can barely recall. This is a Kirblog. I jotted down all the notes of the conferences. My arm's killing me, and I'm really busy, but I'm gonna try covering them all. Welcome to the E3 of I heard that song one too many times to the point where I rediscovered my love for it with in the wake of Detective Pikachu, and now it has come all the way back around again to being like the Shrek-worthy meme again. This E3 did not blow me away, but you know, I still always enjoyed following the excitement of it every year. Much like with games done quick, I do certainly miss getting to see the live audience kind of fun of everything, and it's not always easy for me to be able to tune into like my Twitter feed and everything blowing the hell up at every word everybody's sharing. But yeah, so I wrote down some notes for everything. Starting off with the Microsoft / Bethesda thing. Once again, kind of as I expected, lots of trailers for shooters and realistic first-person games that all kind of feel samey to me. It's not to take away the individual work that goes into them, but just for myself in terms of my own interests, it's hard to be like, oh yeah, that one that had the guys speaking, I think, Russian in the beginning of it, and then the other one that I don't remember any particular like specific thing that stood out or whatever. Sorry. Truth be told, the thing that kind of made it the most enjoyable to follow was Gouda and Amelia from Hololive did like a reaction stream to it, and that kind of definitely made it more fun. I mean, I usually don't do that with E3 streams. I just kind of watch them as they are, but that happens sometimes. Gouda and Ame having a good time was a fun little add to the experience. The Sea of Thieves X Pirates of the Caribbean, that's pretty cool. Certainly that was something I thought of like, that'd be kind of an interesting idea when the Sea of Thieves was first announced. And I do think that, say what you will about like, the condition of Rare as a company or whatever the type of games that they make. I've heard pretty good things about Sea of Thieves. And the fact that like, they went from that long development process of trying to do, Dream as a pirate game. And then, all this time later, like they get to team up with, Disney on actually having the most famous pirate characters in the world, arguably, maybe tied with One Piece, of course. But that's pretty cool. I do think that's kind of a nice thing for them. So I'm happy for the folks that are still there at Rare that have been, around for all these years and everything. Psychonauts 2 looks fantastic. I tremendously need to play the first one. It's on my list of many that like I know are amazing. A couple other little in terms obviously, of course, I'm happy for Tim Schafer and his team for finally getting to make that happen. Also happy for the creators of both Hades and Among Us for Hades is getting a console port, so and also Among Us with the updates and everything. I do feel good about the little guys and the indie developers and everything. Regardless of how successful they become, they're still small teams, and I think that's really great that they get to have a lot of success with especially having a game on an E3 conference is like a huge deal. It's just still something like magical about that. So yeah, huge shout out to them. Party Animals looks silly, but I love the jiggly, like, I don't want to say Havoc engine, as I don't know if that's what it is, but just like the weird kind of like the ragdoll physics models of the animal suits and everything was really funny. I feel the love for Halo. Again, I've never been like a huge Halo fan or anything, but that's one that I've grown to appreciate, that like the fan base is incredibly dedicated. I really liked the kind of cute performance of the character that I guess is not actually Cortana, but like pretends to be Cortana. I don't know the lore well enough, but whatever. But that was cool to see that. Slam Rancher 2, I only am familiar with the first one because Toxic Soul and Michaela has been playing it a lot lately, with me and her and Germ and Courtney, who we've had on a couple of Kirblog's this year so far. So happy for her about that. It looks cute. Bunny slimes and stuff, and bat slimes. Shredders, also known as the hard to read logo, looks very pretty. As far as like a snowboarding game goes, it looks like very lush. I feel like that's a case where like having realistic graphics really genuinely adds to the gameplay experience in terms of just like feeling like it's like a legit kind of snowboarding kind of adventure. Replaced looks incredibly, actually both Replaced and a Eiyuden Chronicle, with its like very unique sprite art. Replaced in particular looks like I've never seen a game quite like that before, with the kind of like Minecraft, but even more detailed sort of like 3D environments, but everything is pixelated, and then like all the actual character animation is these masterful looking 2D sprites and things. Eiyuden Chronicle is also very impressive. Kind of reminds me of like a slightly more detailed Octopath in terms of like its visual fidelity and style and everything. I hope it's voiced. I'm sure I'll be hearing a lot of familiar people in that at some point. So the grounded Shroom and Doom thing, I never heard of that game before. I'm assuming this is like an expansion to it, but that was very adorable looking with the Honey I Shrunk the Kids type thing. I will also say the Outer Worlds 2 trailer was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like the fact that just after 20 plus years of E3, God, maybe like 30, 40, I don't even know how long they've been doing E3 for at this point, but just after all that time, and then we have like the most like, and now here we are making fun of all the tropes in every like AAA game, cinematic trailer. Isn't that cool? Okay, great, whatever. It's like, I give them a lot of props for that. And just completely being self-aware, even though maybe some people would feel kind of like cringy or whatever about that, but I thought it was very, as someone who knows nothing about Outer Worlds, the first one, or otherwise, I just found that very amusing. So props to them for that memorable trailer. And that Redfall vampire game seems really neat. I've got a couple other, Yuri Lowenthal and Naveen Crumby, who I've worked with, and a couple other people saw on the voice cast of that and talking about it on Twitter and everything. I just recently played Dead by Daylight with that same group of friends I mentioned, and tried that for the first time. This seems like a little bit more kick-ass, like action oriented, but having like horror monsters and things like in like a creepy environment, sneaking around stuff is pretty cool. So maybe I might end up getting suckered into playing that one with that group. We'll see. but yeah. All right, and then there's the Square-Enix thing the following day. So jokes about I Need a Hero aside, the Guardians game looks really cool. I will say there is still something, a couple slight criticisms. There's still something slightly uncanny about the 3D. Like, we're not actually the actors from the movies, but the actors we got are kind of, doing something along those lines a little bit, like just close enough. Like the fact that Rocket is very clearly just like, I'm doing a Bradley Cooper type thing, like it along those lines. And I know that this happens with like a lot of superhero characters. It is what it is. But there was something about that was a little weird. And also, there was, what was the other criticism that I just lost it. I will, on a good note, I'll sandwich it. The good thing was, most memorable thing about the gameplay was, sorry, negative thing I'll remember. I'll get to that. Yeah. Was activating the 80s music while the Star-Lord does like cool shit, like beating up bad guys and everything, and then like something from his playlist activates. That's a great idea to integrate that part of his character like into the gameplay itself, and then just like some badass 80s music happens. I presume there's gonna I think somebody else made this joke, I can't remember who, but there's gonna have to be some fucking like streamer friendly mode of the game where like they don't play any of those songs so they don't get immediately taken down and demonetized or whatever for all that. The other thing was, as I do think that the voice actors are very talented for the game versions of these characters, but wow, at least from that level that it was showcasing, a little too talky, like just a little too much, and it's the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, what do I expect? Of course. But yeah, there's a little bit of that. Also on the note of because I felt this way about the character models being kind of like uncanny to me, and that like, they're not the movie guys, but close enough. I kind of felt that way about the Marvel Avengers game. I will say that Black Panther DLC looks really, really, really sick. I don't know if I'll ever pick up that game. I know there was kind of some mixed thoughts from people about it, but it was very cool looking to see that and to have that world realized in game form. I tremendously need to play Final Fantasy 4 and 6 already, and probably Legend of Mana or any of the Mana games, all these classic Square-Enix games that are getting console ports and remasters and things. I saw there were some people complaining about the sprites. I feel like that keeps happening where like whenever they make any alterations to any of the sprites of the classic Final Fantasy games in like any other port, not counting like the actual remake versions of them. Like I know 4 had a DS remake, which I would like to try that at some point. I know people kind of get up in arms about that, which I understand, but that Nier mobile game looks very neat. Maybe after I get a new phone that can actually play it, and maybe after also I finish playing Nier Automata, I could try it out at some point. Also, speaking of the Nier team, despite the trailer being a little weird, Babylon's Fall is quite interesting. Very, very beautiful, kind of like watercolory visuals. I know that I don't know if it's Yoko Taro specifically, or if it's just like that studio, or I don't know if it's his team or otherwise, but I know that they do incredible games, so I'm sure that'll be fantastic. It seems like they're kind of like trying to like kind of aim more towards like a bit of like a wider, kind of more international audience, which I hope that doesn't come off like in the wrong way in terms of what they're trying to portray. I mean, maybe it'll go totally fine. I'm sure their pedigree is huge, and seems like those kind of games are doing better and better. So I'll say I got very sucked into the Life is Strange True Colors trailer. I wanted to play a narrative game like that. I never finished a full run of Detroit Become Human that I was doing with a couple friends a few years ago. I really liked what I saw. And Ashley Birch, when I did OKKO with her, she always spoke very highly about how proud she was of the original Life is Strange, and just like how much it's like, oh, that's going to make you cry. And I'm like, oh, I'll bet. Yeah, I'm way into it. So I'm excited to see it at some point. But I saw that there's like a collection as well. Maybe I'll pick that up at some point. Also, that Final Fantasy Orange looked pretty badass. I heard some familiar voices mixed in there too. Though Wes Kadja, my roommate, and I were joking like immediately after about like, we have to kill chaos. I've got to find chaos. I hate chaos. If there's one thing I know, it's that I hate chaos. And then they get in the room and Garland's like, oh, it's me, Garland. Are you chaos? No, I'm Garland, but also I'm chaos. Chaos. I'm like, all right, we get it. Yeah. And then pink hair guy comes in. Well, the Warriors of Light. Well, chaos. Did you say chaos? So yeah, that was a trip. Square Enix 1 is usually always like a good time. Happy that our boy Matt Mercer got to narrate that. That was very cute, and he did a great job, of course. And then, of course, we have the infamous Capcom stream. I will say, actually, first of all, the Mr. Kanda, the Resident Evil Village producer, was very adorable. I loved how enthusiastic and happy he was about just the stuff that they were adding and how much people enjoyed the game. I know that's really taken off and everything. Monster Hunter Stories 2 also looks really cute. The models are very appealing. I don't know how hardcore fans of like the main Monster Hunter and like Rise and some of the other ones. I don't know how they feel about the story series, if it's like too anime to them or whatever. But I don't know. I definitely find that kind of look a tad more appealing to me personally. I need to play so I really want to get that new / old, just finally now coming out here for the first time, Ace Attorney Chronicles games with in ancient Japan and everything. I still haven't played 4, 5, and 6 of the handheld ones, which I know I should. I keep saying that this is kind of a side thing, but I really hope that at some point, like not soon, because I'm sure they'll want to wait a while on if they ever do this, but I really, really hope that someday we get a lot of 3DS games ported to the Nintendo Switch. So I don't know if they'll ever do that with Apollo Justice, and then Phoenix Wright 5 and 6. I really should play those, but maybe I might play these the ancient ones as a separate thing in and of itself. And no, of course, there's absolutely no Mega Man shit whatsoever. No, nothing. Still nothing. It seems like maybe even this year at all for the Battle Network 20th anniversary. There was that thing that came out last year that Proto Dude just reported on a little while ago about that Rockman XZ mobile game, supposedly, that this one company that they did like a Devil May Cry game or something, like a mobile game before. I don't know, whatever. So I don't know. I kind of set my it was even like less than I thought. There was just little to nothing going on. And even the esports thing, I know that's like, oh, whatever, we don't care about this, but I'm sure for people that are into that, I'm sure that was incredibly exciting, and it is cool to see how passionate people are for video games in general now, and to see how much they've evolved and things. But yeah, overall the Capcom thing was like even less than I expected. Then the Bandai Namco thing happened, and I want to be fair here. I don't know if there was some miscommunication or if people didn't realize that they were only going to be going into this one horror game by the Dying Light guys, I think it was, which again, that's very cool for them. And I'm sure that it seems like they've really put a lot into this and everything. I don't know if the expectation of there being like a full on discussion or a full on presentation with like other games or anything, if that was somehow miscommunicated to people, but I was so confused when that 5-minute long little interview about that horror game. I feel bad I can't remember what it was called. And then it just like cuts all the different stream feeds, just cut back to like people doing talk show host crap about like reactions to E3 or whatever. And I'm like, what's happening? Was that it? Was that the entire Bandai Namco thing? Was there more? I don't know what happened. It was very confusing. So but of course, like usual, with most E3s. Although I will say, actually real quick, I was kind of bummed that there was no Sony thing. I guess because word I heard is that they're focusing mainly on the PlayStation experience or whatever, their centralized convention, which is fine. That's cool too. But I was kind of bummed to not see them as part of like the big three, of course. But nonetheless, typically my big thing is I'm in it for Nintendo, and of course on a couple mornings ago, got up and was very happy for it. And, it's always a good time. I can't quite tell what the general reaction to Kazuya and Smash is, other than the memes of him dropping various people off of cliffs and Simpsons jokes that I don't understand. I think it's cool. It was not one that I expected or predicted at all. But, again, another really legendary video game series and fighting game series in particular. I think he's absolutely earned a spot. I don't know enough of his special abilities other than his like demon transformation, which I have seen that before. I don't know enough of his abilities to know like what his special moves will be. So I'm sure when we get that follow-up stream with Sakurai about his playstyle and everything, I'm sure I'll get a little bit more excited. I guess I'm kind of hoping that maybe he'll be a little bit easier to pick up than Terry or even Ryu and Ken are. But we'll see. I don't know how complicated Tekken is compared to other hardcore fighting games. And how that'll translate into Smash. But there was a lot in the Nintendo one. A couple other ones that stuck out. 2 Point Campus, I was joking around a lot about because Michaela just finished up, Toxic Soul just finished up she's about to graduate from Sheridan College. And then I was watching that with her and the others and just seeing like, hey, you could build your own college. Go back to school immediately. And I'm like, no, thanks. I'm good. I'm sure this is a beautifully crafted game, but I don't want to think about building or going back to a college. Thanks. I'm good. So, I had some thought about like, man, I wonder, like, are we going to get a reveal for like a new big Mario game this year? And I was like, it might still be like a little too soon for like something to follow up with Odyssey. But, then we got Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, which does look really cool. I did not get the chance to play the original one. I'm actually kind of a little bit more interested in this one because of it looks like the changes in gameplay where instead of it being kind of more grid based in the strategy, you can actually like move around freely and like do stuff in real time. So that might be a little bit more up my alley, but I'm not sure yet. I'll wait to see. I don't know if there was any like exposés and more gameplay footage at some point. I'll have to go investigate that. I'm sure there was, but and of course, unnamed gothic green-haired bunny rabbit girl already getting Rule 34 just plastered across my timeline like within a half an hour. It's like, of course you did that, internet. Thank you. Good. Moving on. Super Monkey Mall, Banana Manania, Banana. It looks cute. I think I've only ever actually played the arcade version of Super Monkey Ball, whatever version of that happened to be in like one of the LA round ones or whatever I went to. I always wanted to get Super Monkey Ball 2, I think it was, on the GameCube, but was never able to like grab it anywhere. So maybe I'll try that at some point. Advance Wars Plus, I know is a big deal for folks. The art is gorgeous looking. I know that was like a really, really big deal game series for a lot of folks, especially people who grew up with like the Game Boy Advance was like one of their first systems that they grew up with. So to see that, like even for me, it's kind of nostalgic of thinking like, God, like 20 years ago already for when that was first coming out. Metroid Dread looks awesome, and I would like to pick that up. I actually, once again, I wanted to get the Metroid 2 remake that was on the 3DS. I never got around to picking it up because the only real Metroid game that I have a whole lot of experience with, to be honest, is Fusion. I only played a little bit of the NES Metroid and Metroid Prime 1, which I am glad that they at least mentioned, like, we're still working on Prime 4. Everybody, please chill out. I promise it's coming. But Fusion is the only one that I've ever actually beaten and played all the way through from beginning to end. But this one looks sick. Like the Emmy, like robot character, I was seeing a little bit. I had to miss, unfortunately, a lot of the Nintendo Treehouse stream thing that came right after that. So I didn't get to see all the footage of everything just yet. But the stealth kind of like elements of it and everything look really fun. I love 2D Metroid in particular. I know that Prime 4 is like the big thing that people are really waiting for. And I know that the name, I have to look into this. I know that Metroid Dread was like some other thing that was planned for a while and then it never happened. And then maybe this is what it is, or they just use the name or something. I'm not entirely sure. But it is really cool. I'm very, very happy about that. And I definitely want to pick this one up. So Danganronpa Collection is pretty cool. I don't know if any of those games have been on Nintendo consoles in the past necessarily, but that is pretty nice that they're going ahead and having like a big collection, I think, of the original 3 games when they were on the Vita or the PSP or whatever. Probably, okay, the 2 biggest games that I absolutely need to have in my life more than anything that were announced this year. The new WarioWare. I haven't played a new WarioWare in probably since college. But this one in particular looks like so much fun. I loved everything that I saw of WarioWare Gold, I think it was, for the 3DS, with the animation style and the characters, the cutscenes, the fun of that, just the cartoony nature of it and everything was like a huge, it was just so much fun for me. And getting to play a WarioWare game with other people again, I gotta have that. I'm really surprised that we're getting a new one, but of course the Switch is such a good system for it. So that's going to be very exciting. And of course, most of all, because I am such a huge fan of the original 3 N64 Mario Party games, Mario Party Superstars is just the most exciting thing for me. I'm still kind of making my way through the footage of the Treehouse stream where they played through a few of the different boards. But even just hearing the remixed versions of the music again and just seeing those boards with new graphics and all the old mini games, and then also seeing like Rosalina and some of the newer characters like mixed in there is like, and Toadette is surreal to see that, but that is so exciting. I love those games. I know that Mario Party's come a long way since then, of course. I did love Super Mario Party for Switch. That was awesome. But that in particular, I think is going to be a huge deal. So for me, I'm very excited to destroy all my remaining friendships with Mario Party. And the Zelda stuff looks really cool too. The Game & Watch thing was adorable. I am actually very happy about the Skyward Sword version with no motion controls and everything. I gotta say, I think that the Skyward Sword theme is probably my favorite Zelda theme of any of the games. Even though I haven't actually played the game myself, I've only watched playthroughs of it and everything. Which is awful because I actually own it. It was given to me as a gift by somebody. I'm sorry if you're listening. It was years ago. And then also Breath of the Wild, the Hyrule Warriors DLC. I know that's going to be good for building the lore and everything. I'm starting to see all these interesting theories about the supposedly like long-haired Link, or if it might even be like a young version of Ganondorf, because I guess people are noticing like the weird thing with his arm looking kind of amputated or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but a lot of interesting theories about the new game. And I guess, what did they say? Next year it's coming out. So that's cool. This year overall didn't like blow me away. It wasn't like the most excited I've ever been at about an E3, but it's still an enjoyable time. The fact that we got nothing about the Diamond and Pearl remake or Arceus leads me to believe that we'll be getting a Pokemon exclusive direct later on this year, probably closer to both of those games coming out. And I have to imagine also probably a separate stream for the final Smash character. If it isn't Cinderace, which is my kind of major theory of what the last DLC character will be, if it doesn't tie directly in with the eventual Pokemon exclusive direct and everything. That's my thought. But otherwise, only one Smash character left too, and new Pokemon games coming out later this year, which I'm excited about. So there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening in gaming. On that note, before I wrap things up, thanks for listening to my rambling about the Electronics Entertainment Expo Squared Cube. I'm actually taking place. I'm so tired. I've been really busy working my ass off these last forever on the Terrain of Magical Expertise RPG. Of course, if you guys saw our progress report video with some special announcements and important news and everything earlier this week, we are taking part in the Steam Next Festival for up until July 22nd. We have a new demo for the first level of the Terrain of Magical Expertise RPG, the Tome RPG that I've been working on for 4 years now. We're aiming to finish it by the end of this year and fall later in 2020. We have a new demo that's going up, and if you want to go check that out, I'll have a link in the description to the Steam page. And actually, shortly after this video goes up, which will be at 12 noon PST, I'm going to be live streaming with a couple folks, I believe, from 1C Publishing to talk about the game and just kind of go through and everything, show off some of the features and stuff. So if you want to play it for yourself, you can go download it and check it out. You can wishlist us on Steam as well. We're getting close to the end of development. I've been working so hard on this. I really, really hope that it comes together and people enjoy it. I hope... I hope you get to try it out, and I hope you like it, and I hope you are still excited about it. I know it's been a long time coming, but we're so close, and I'm really, really excited to finally have my very first video game that I've dreamed of this my whole life, and I hope that the reward will be worth it, and thank you everybody who's been following the progress on it and everything. I'm sure we'll be talking more and more about that, but if you can make it to the live stream. If in case any of you guys happen to miss the one that I did last night with Andy Faye Lyons, come check out the one that we'll be doing today on our Steam page. Again, I'll have a link in the description below, and I'll catch you all on there. Otherwise, I'll be back with more stuff before the month is up. I think we're going to have a new trailer for the Tome game before June is finished, so look forward to that. I have a lot more work to do. Wish me luck, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.